everybody. Welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 7. My name is Rico, and I am here with my co-host,
Dane Cody.
We get together once a week and sit down and have a little chat about the video games, movies, TV, toys, tech, whatever we feel like. Anyway, usually we start off our show with what you've been playing. But actually, this week I'm going to start with... I'm going to talk about the toy fair that just happened that I went to.
Yeah, I see that. How was that?
It was pretty cool. It's definitely a blast to the past. Oh, my.
Oh, really? Lots of people there like selling the old school toys?
There's old school toys, like, you know, your Hot Wheels and your G.I. Joes, your toy soldiers, trains, whatever. Anyway, I think they have it about twice a year here in Victoria. Actually, a buddy I went to high school organizes the show because he runs Cherry Bomb Toys downtown here in
Very
Victoria.
Cool.
So he organizes this toy fair twice a year, and you know, people buy tables and set up and sell whatever the hell they want. You know, people are selling records at some of them, but anyway.
So it's kind of like a giant flea market for toys, and is there like video games and stuff there too, or is it mainly like toys?
There's tons of game stuff.
Oh, nice.
I posted a photo on our Instagram and Twitter of some of the old NES stuff. And that's what I mean. It's like a blast of the past because I go through here and it's like, I see the first games I've owned, consoles, and it's like, oh man, I remember when I had that stuff. And it makes me very sad because like,
you don't have it anymore?
I'll look at a table and it's like, okay, I owned all of that and now it's like fetching like stupidly high prices. Why did I give it away? Trading it in for the next system.
Yep. I know exactly what you feel like.
I quit. I don't trade stuff in anymore.
Yeah, I stopped doing that as well. I think it comes with age, personally. Like when you're younger,
yeah, when you're young, you
don't have the money.
You need it to graduate to the new system.
Yeah, because you don't have the money, right? You're like, shit, I need to trade in the old stuff so I can afford to buy the new stuff.
Yeah.
So and then you get older, and it's like, well, while the new stuff is not cheap and it's, you know, still a pain to try and get, you're not usually as cash strapped, so it's a little bit of a easier thing to upgrade.
Yeah, after the Nintendo came out and the Super Nintendo came out, it was like, oh, here, take it all. Sure, $1 is an awesome deal. I'll give that Final Fantasy 1 to you for $1, no problem.
Oh, that's funny. I was at the Willow Video local here, and they do, you know, they kind of do that with the older video games and systems and various things like that. And I couldn't believe, like, they had some old Nintendo games there, and they're fetching, like, 60, 70, 80 bucks.
Yeah, a lot of the classics like the Mega Man and
that was
stuff
actually
like
one
that.
of them.
That was all like
minimum
minimum 40 to 60 bucks a piece. Some of them were surprisingly cheap. I guess obviously there must just be a lot of copies floating around, so they're not as expensive as the other ones. But I like going there because usually I go there looking for some rare Transformers.
Right.
I'm still kicking myself in the head because I went there a few years ago, or maybe last year, and they had a Masterpiece Soundwave Transformer.
Oh, nice. And you didn't buy it.
I didn't buy it. It's the exclusive Toys R Us version, which came with all the cassette tapes. So it came with, you know, Ravage, Rumble, Frenzy.
Right.
And I can't remember the name of... and Laserbeak. I was getting them confused with Blaster for a second. So it comes with 4 tapes.
Wow.
So sweet. Yeah, it's awesome. But you know, that was this limited exclusive Toys R Us edition.
Right. Which of course was a pain, I'm sure, to try and get back when it released.
I think I missed it by like hours when it came into the stores here.
Oh, brutal.
And of course, we're in Canada, so Toys R Us didn't, for whatever reason, at that time, their website really sucked and you couldn't order it online.
I think their website still sucks in Canada.
Yeah, it still sucks. But, but you can actually order some stuff online from them. So now, in terms of some of the Masterpiece stuff.
Right.
Anyway,
makes life a little easier for people like you.
I missed it. It was like $120, I think, originally, plus tax when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So actually a buddy of mine was selling it and I'm like, I don't know, humming and hawing. And I regret not picking it up because I could have got it for about $150.
Oh.
So pretty much the same as if I never missed it to begin with.
Right. But
Fast
you
forward
felt
a year
like
later,
it was too much money.
Everyone
so you didn't do it.
They had a couple versions at a couple of the sellers, and they're 200, 250.
Oh wow!
And they weren't. Well, one guy had the exclusive one, but he wasn't willing to budge. And the other ones were just the regular version with the one tape, and they're all like $200. And I'm like, wow, I just can't do it. So I tried offering the one guy, but he just wouldn't go. They had a lot of other cool stuff too. They had some super rare, some of the Japanese, actually the guys from ages 3 and up were here.
Oh, okay.
They're from Vancouver.
I don't know them, or I don't know about that store personally, but
yeah, they're pretty huge for selling Transformers in Canada. Especially the import stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
There's actually a trend with Transformers that, there's a few companies that have made their own versions of Transformers, and they're really good. They're really good.
So is that kind of like how Square Enix did their take on the Star Wars figurines recently?
Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like the play art stuff.
Okay.
They're not licensed.
Right.
They have weird names.
Oh, okay. So that's how they kind of get around the licensing and stuff?
Yeah, they're not knockoffs, so they're not cheap pieces of junk. So they have a whole Dinobot set of masterpiece quality Transformers, but they're made by these third-party companies. They're pretty sweet, but man, they're expensive. They're really expensive.
Yeah, some of that specialty stuff is pricey.
It's a neat scene though. It totally appeals to the collectors.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun to see all that stuff, and seeing all the old G.I. Joes you had, and it's like a trip
just
down
makes me cry, man. I look at especially things like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Transformers, and I'm like, I had that one, and then and it's if I still had them all, they'd be worth $1,500 plus. But my mom made me get rid of those years ago.
Yep.
Oh, it hurts
I wish
me to
I had
the core.
some of my original toys. I know a bunch of them got given away, and
I know, right?
I think even more just got thrown away.
Yep. My mom sort of went through a phase when I was younger where a lot of that stuff was evil, so it got given away or tossed out in the garbage.
Or they were in a box and they got thrown away.
Yeah. I try not to think about it because it hurts.
So it's a cool little toy fair. They have games, little carnival games for the kids. They have there's people doing cosplay. They had I want to say that Star Wars Brigade bunch of
the Star Troopers, the 501 and stuff.
I don't know what number it is.
I feel it's the 501.
Yeah, they had full banner, and they're doing photos for donations.
Right.
Yeah, there was a silent auction for donations as well. And before we get to that, it's just a lot of fun going around there, just checking out all this old stuff. Like I said, it's just such a trip down memory lane. It's just I don't know. I had a good childhood, so it just makes me so happy walking around, going up and down the aisle, seeing all these classic toys.
Oh yeah, I hear you, man.
All these classic, video games and stuff, because there's quite a few. There's a couple people there, one or two of the classic game retailers in town,
right?
And then just random people. I don't think they own shops that just have tons of games.
Huh? Maybe
they kind of do it for an eBay kind of side thing. But there are some people with some amazing collections that they just sell there as well. And I saw no signs of any sort they were some type of retail op. So
right.
Yeah, every system imaginable, every game imaginable, they have all the classics. If you're looking for it, it's the perfect place to go to pick that stuff up. It is killer that it's pretty expensive now, though. It's oh man, because I've been contemplating picking up a Retron 5 for some of the old school games, but it's ooh, they're so expensive.
Yeah, and it's not just the system; it's the games.
The games are super expensive.
It's I'll pick up a Retron 5 and I'll pick up some Mario 3 and some, other games that play great still, and then you realize, holy crap, it's cheaper for me just to pick those games up off of the freaking Nintendo store on my Wii U.
True story. or click a button and
exactly.
have it display on your PC magically somehow by some unknown means or methods.
I don't know how that would happen.
I have no idea, but I hear you could play classic games on your computer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like about a dolphin. I don't know.
Emulator.
What? No.
So I went there because last year I lost out on a silent auction. They raised money for, I can't remember who it's for. One of the charities. This is how much attention I pay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I want to say Children's Hospital or something like that.
That sounds about right.
A good cause. They're helping people.
Fair enough.
Making everyone happy.
Finding out where the water goes. Something.
And they had a Retron 5 last year, which I just lost, and it sold for like about $100. So it's almost half price. So it was, I'm like, oh, hopefully they'll have another one this year. And, I brought my own pen because it's like a silent auction, but they didn't have enough pens. So I couldn't outbid the other guy because he was holding the pen and he wouldn't give it to me. He wouldn't give it to me.
What a dick.
Yeah. What a dick move.
That's such a jerk.
So I went there this year with my own pen.
That's funny.
I wasn't going to get screwed by that tactic. And
this is my pen.
They had a Retron 3, but now it's 5 or nothing. So I didn't bother bidding on that. Okay. And they had a few headsets, PC headsets and stuff. And
sweet.
They had Razer Black Shark, and I was kind of eyeing it up because my headset is kind of ratty. I was probably just going to get one of the newer Razer ones. I can't remember the name. I want to say Chromia or something like that.
Like the Tiamat Chromia or something?
Yeah, the ones that come in the funky colors.
Yep. They're
not very expensive.
You're talking about the Kraken, like the Kraken Chroma or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a pair of those for work, actually.
I was thinking about getting one of those because they're not too expensive.
They're nice.
I don't need a headset. I was just like, I'm kind of just want one.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the Black Shark, but it's expensive. It's $175.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy expensive.
Wow, I remember looking at them. I feel like they were on sale at NCIX not too long ago for like $129.
Yeah, probably on sale. I think they were $150, and I think with the dollar they've gone up more. So
interesting.
With taxes, it's a $200 headset.
Yeah.
So anyway, they had one in the silent auction,
and they look sweet. They look like a pair of like helicopter pilot headphones. They look cool.
They definitely look cool. I like the way they look. They're super unique. They sound really good too.
Oh, nice.
So anyway, the opening bid was $50. I'm like, oh, I'll go in on this. Why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
So I read down the list and someone had a bid, 50 something, some change or what, a couple bids.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? $55. There was like 10 minutes left in the auction.
You totally won it for $55.
I was scoping around, making sure no one came around. No one came back. The guy must have put his bid in and didn't care or didn't realize. And yeah, I got a $200 headset for $55.
Very sweet, dude.
So it was a successful mission. Yeah. But I didn't get my Transformer though.
Oh, well, you win some, you lose some, right?
Yeah. It was fun though.
Oh, very cool. Sounds like a fun time.
It
sounds a little bit like Fan Expo, but like on a smaller scale and with less comic book people around.
Yeah, there was comic books and stuff too. And I think you get in for free if you come with cosplay. So there was a couple cosplayers. It was all girls, maybe one or two guys.
Oh, okay.
With the exception of the Stormtroopers.
Right.
But like there was a female Captain America and a bunch of Harley Quinns.
Okay. Fair enough. Those seem to be popular right about now.
Yeah. Pretty easy costume, I guess, for the ladies.
Yeah. Plus, like I said, they're kind of in, so that helps.
So that was my weekend.
Nice.
And then, that's about it. I guess we can get into what you've been playing. You been playing anything new, Dane?
Man, I didn't even play anything last weekend. I was so busy. I had a work thing on the Friday night.
If anyone out there wants to be part of a podcast, we now have an open spot for a co-host of a super successful internet podcast.
Hey, now, come on.
I'm just breaking your balls.
But no, I had like a work camping trip on Friday night, so I went to that. It was just overnight, and then I got home kind of midday the next day, showered and cleaned myself up. And then a friend of mine, their band, Gigahertz, was playing downtown. Awesome show.
Gigahertz.
They won Best Band in Vancouver. So they put on a rockin' show. So me and the wife went down there and checked that out with some friends. So of course that was my Saturday. And then Sunday morning, I was kind of up at a decent hour because there was the local Porsche dealership did their monthly Cars and Coffee. So I was down there hanging out with all those guys, Googling at all the awesome cars and whatnot.
Yeah, no doubt.
And the rest of the day was kind of, get a bunch of crap done. And then me and the wife went and saw the Avengers. So
yeah, Avengers. Okay,
yeah.
We'll talk about that
the Avengers later on. But So I mean, I didn't even get a chance to like really play any games. It was just a super busy kind of day. And then Monday, I kind of came home, had a bit of time, and I won't lie, I kind of fell into I logged on to Marvel Heroes and to get my daily, and I got sucked into play for an hour or two. So
which I actually played. So since you mentioned it, we can talk about that. I finally played it.
Oh, very cool. So what have you been thinking?
Do you have a level 60 character?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
My Daredevil is level 35. No, 37 now is my Daredevil, and I have a... Let's see, X-23 is level 14, I believe. And I just kind of was messing around earlier tonight for 10 minutes or whatever with Iron Man, actually. Because right now all the Avenger characters are double XP.
Yeah.
Well, 50% XP, I should say. So
I started a new account. I had an old account, and I had a Hawkeye, but I don't think I even hit level 10, so I started a new account.
Sweet. That's smart, because right now if you start a new account, you can pick from one of the Avenger characters.
Which I did.
Totally sweet.
And like a boss, of course, I chose Iron Man.
Nice.
So I think I'm level 15 now.
Okay.
So I've just been playing it the last couple days.
How many chapters do you finish?
The first one. And started the second one, I guess.
Really? And you hit level 15 already?
I guess that experience buff is quite...
Actually, that makes sense, because I finished like the first, like the prologue, and I was already like level 4 or something like that. So, and that was only 10 minutes or something earlier. So yeah, so that makes sense. The EXP buff being huge right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm on the second chapter, which is the AIM missions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like on the docks.
Yep.
So for anyone out there who does know, Marvel Heroes is like Diablo, but with Marvel Heroes.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's free to play. You literally get to pick out of a handful of characters that are free.
Yeah, some characters you don't get to try. You have to straight up buy.
You do.
So
which is a bit of a bummer. Yeah, and some of them are quite pricey. I mean, like that was the one thing I was kind of complaining about before. Like the other day I was like, you know what? I would really like to pick up Doctor Strange. Like I haven't paid any money to this game. I was like, maybe I'll buy some gems and I'll pick up Doctor Strange. He's like $10. $10 for one character.
That's in line with most of the other free-to-play games.
And I was like, wow, that seems really expensive. So I didn't.
At the same time, it's not. It is and it isn't.
Yeah, I know.
You do get the whole game.
That's true.
Because like you do get one character for free, so you can play right to the end and nothing's limited, right?
Yep. No, absolutely. I've played to the end. I beat the single player like story or whatever with my Daredevil, and I've started. After you beat the story and stuff, there's sort of one-off missions that are about the size of a chapter.
Are those the challenges?
No, they're actually separate. If you click on one of the portals, and if you go into, there's like, I'm trying to remember what it is. There's like the tabs at the top. It's like the second tab over, there's specific sort of like I can't remember what they're called. They're like single story missions or something like that. And, they're higher level. So those ones are between like level 30 and 40. So it's kind of a way to like level up quicker than, cause I think the regular story on normal mode maxes out at, I think it's like level 30 or 29 or something like that. So you're going to be way past that already by the time if you keep playing with the Iron Man with the buff on him. So
yeah, I didn't realize there was a buff, but He's pretty cool. I like him. Definitely fits my playstyle. Ranged.
Yeah.
And looks cool. Lots of laser beams and missiles and shit flying everywhere.
Very nice. Did you log in on, was it Saturday?
No, I missed that. I totally forgot about that.
That's such a bummer. I actually got that. So for any of you out there, on last Saturday, they were giving away a skin for Iron Man. It was like one of his skin from the movie they were giving away for free. So
I totally saw that and I meant to, but we were so busy on Saturday. I was power washing the deck and then we went to go watch Avengers and I never ended up logging in. I totally forgot.
That's too bad.
Oh, well, at least it's just a stupid skin.
Yep. Totally.
Man, I'm totally going to buy that Hulkbuster skin, though.
That's a sweet skin.
I just watch these guys in the Avengers Tower, which is kind of like the hub in this game.
There's multiple hubs, actually. You'll find there'll be other ones along the way that you'll go to.
So there's like guys running around like in the Hulkbuster, and that looks so badass.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. It's awesome.
It's just cosmetic, right? So
yep. Oh yeah, totally cosmetic.
I've been enjoying the game. There's a couple things that are a little janky. The interface I have some qualms with.
Yeah.
I find the items in your inventory are like really small. It is kind of nice that they all take up the same amount of space, which makes it easy.
Yes.
But like sometimes it's just kind of hard to tell. It gets a little cluttered. You get drops from other characters that you can't use. And some of the monetary systems and so forth, I don't feel like there's very good explanation on what the hell they're for.
Yeah, there's really only a couple real ones off the bat that you need to worry about. Eternity Splinters, those will actually allow you to buy characters and skins in the game.
Oh, okay.
So those will drop from time to time.
I've gotten a few of those.
Yep.
And I had no idea what they do.
Yeah. If you go to a Eternity Splinter vendor, you can actually buy, heroes, costumes, team up characters.
That was the other thing. Like, I have no idea what a team up is, and like I see it everywhere. And I've gotten team up items.
Yeah, it's essentially like you get a team up character and they're sort of like your sidekick. So
they follow you around. An NPC that plays with you. Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. I actually don't have one myself, so
is that open from the start, or is that a certain level that comes in at?
You know, I'm actually not sure. Because what happened for me was I played the game when it first came out, and I leveled my Daredevil up to like level 20 or something like that. No, it was lower than that. It was like 15 or something. And then I started playing it again like a month or two ago. And they've changed so much of the game. Like all of those systems were totally not in place the original time that when I started playing it.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a trip even for me. So as far as like some of that stuff, I don't know when it unlocked because it was already unlocked because my character was already like level 15 or whatever. So yeah. But I do know certain things like, I believe it's Omega points. You won't be able to use those till you're level 25. So, and same with your synergy points. You won't be able to essentially turn in synergy points until you hit level 25 as well, which is essentially just means each character that you level to level 25, whenever you turn that synergy on when you're another character, it gives you bonuses based on however many characters you have at level 25 or 60. Actually, I think it's 25 and 50, but so if you level a character up to 25 and then you get another character, you can turn on the synergy points and you'll get like an extra boost, 3% damage with, you know, this type of character or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if, because of this experience boost, if I must be over leveled for the areas I'm in, or is it really easy?
I won't lie. Well, especially right now when you're like over leveled, like that's a huge part of it. I must be,
because I one shot like everything.
Yeah, a lot of it's a little bit like Diablo, right? Like you'll have those waves of the creeps that you pretty much mow down, but then there's going to be like the harder ones, and then there's obviously going to be like the sort of the specials.
The bosses are the only things that last more than a second.
But like I was playing in the special mission or whatever, was it yesterday, Monday? And I mean, I died a few times actually in that because like I was running around in a level 30 to 40 level area, and I'm like level 35 or 36, and I was by myself, and there's just tons of dudes, and they hurt a lot harder. They hit a lot harder than You're also playing it on normal, so once you hit a certain point, you can turn on hard as well. So,
So is that the whole leveling to 60 is you beat it normal and then you beat it again on harder difficulty, or is that where the challenges and stuff come into play?
That's where the challenges and stuff come into play. I mean, some of the content is end game.
Yeah.
Like you have to be level 60 to hit. I think it's some of the challenges and stuff.
Yeah, because you can't do any of the Ultron stuff unless you're level 60, right?
No, I can't, not yet. But what I'm finding is that after you beat the story mission, you can go kick over to the hubs, and you can essentially do the whole, like you said, the whole game again, but the enemies are leveled up much higher. So they start at like level 40 or whatever. And, so then you can play the whole game where, going from like level 40 at the prologue all the way up to chapter 9. And of course, I'm assuming that they're going to scale somewhat with you while you play through. So, and then if you really want, you can turn on the hard mode, which of course is hard mode for any of those. So there's sort of if you're finding things too easy, you can always kind of, change out stuff like that.
And just like Diablo, if I was to change the difficulty, it would obviously increase the experience gains as well, I take it, probably?
Yep. It increases the experience gains, and also you get a little bit better loot and stuff as well. So, I mean, there's definitely some incentive, like down the road, you'll hit, like once, chapter 9 is over and you beat the game, you'll be finding like, well, if you go back to kind of those areas leading up to like the end boss, you're kind of going like, man, these guys aren't really dropping anything great, but it's because they're like locked into like level 20 to 29.
Yeah.
You got to go over and kind of start playing again as, the higher levels before you kind of unlock some better loot and stuff.
I like, in the instanced areas, like where there's bosses and stuff, how it like auto parties. So if there's anyone in the area doing the same thing as you, it just kind of automatically throws you in a party, so you can take on the boss together. You don't have to, not that you necessarily need help, but if you did, you're automatically in a party.
Yeah, and it's helpful.
Cool.
Yeah, it's helpful if obviously you're having troubles and stuff, but it's also the areas do scale. If you have other people in your party or whatever when you go in there. So, but it definitely, like you said, it makes life easy.
I'm liking it. It's fun to play as Iron Man, and it looks good.
Yeah.
It's quite
besides
pretty. Some of the jankiness in the interface, I just think maybe some better tutorials on that would be nice, but I'll figure it out like everything else.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree with you. I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, it is essentially a Diablo with Marvel characters.
The price is right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one of those things, like, why wouldn't you check it out if you love Marvel?
I got nothing else going on. It's Avenger time.
There you go.
It's just, it's been all Marvel all day, all the time.
Marvel all day, all time.
And I've been playing, obviously, stupid Puzzle Quest more.
Yeah,
and that game is weird.
It? Okay.
I like it a lot, but it spikes in difficulty. It's weird.
It does. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember that same problem back when I started. I was like, oh man, like I'm just like steamrolling these guys, and then
the story mode,
I get
the story
stuck
mode
here.
stuff is like you just destroy.
Yeah,
and then like the event quests, like they level up some of your characters and they give you random characters to play with.
Yeah,
I think we talked about this last week or the week before. It's a match 3 puzzle game, like Bejeweled or whatever.
Yeah,
but
more like
3?
More of a puzzle quest type game.
It's Puzzle Quest.
Yeah, because it's Marvel Puzzle Quest.
But like there's a story mode and it's super easy and you steamroll the enemies. And then there's like these events that happen, story events, and like there's like Deadpool
change all
one
the
going
time.
on right now, and
The Deadpool one is a daily. So
Yeah.
that one's kind of new-ish in the last couple
and,
months. They've
like,
turned that one on.
okay, it's like I click on it and it's like, okay, you're fighting level 100 enemies, and it's like, okay, and then your party's leveled up, or you're just given random heroes that are super leveled up.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of them I can win. You know, there's a little more challenge because enemies have much more life.
Right.
Much more health, I should say. And, you know, the matches go longer and you have to be conscious about what colors you're matching and kind of not let them use their power gems and,
Oh, yeah.
you know, steal their colors and so forth. So it's a little more strategic. So it's rewarding when you beat them, but sometimes it's just, it can be pretty difficult.
Yep, it can definitely get there.
Because I feel like sometimes I'm doing something wrong, or it's like, oh, you can't use any characters, and it's like, oh, well, I don't have the right kind of characters to do
Well,
this.
it's because what they do is they some of this stuff, they'll make a certain character a requirement. So if you don't have that character, you can either buy that character or attempt to buy that character.
Yeah.
Or you have to get somebody that maybe has that character that they can lend you in your alliance.
Oh, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the other thing is, like, if you go into a match, you have an option when you go into a battle to, like, essentially ask for help from, like, your alliance.
Yeah,
So,
I missed that button or something.
Yeah. So if you kind of mention in your, you know, hey, I need this character, and if nobody else is really doing that event, then chances are somebody will just loan you that character, and there you go. You're off to
So
the
you get to
races.
use them for like a one-off?
No, you'll get to use them for like a time. I think it's like 48 hours or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's pretty sweet. So it's kind of a way for, like, you know, if there's people in your alliance that have, you know, higher level characters and you're, you know, obviously lower level and you're looking for a little more punch in your team, it's kind of a way for that to happen, right?
I've been having fun with it. I just, some of that stuff it's just random. It's like, okay, easy, super hard, easy, super hard.
Yeah. Have you beat the, like, all of the story modes yet?
No, I haven't beat them all.
Oh, okay.
I've been bouncing between attempting the daily and the event stuff that I can do because you get way better rewards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I've actually gotten like a 4-star
Oh, nice.
character, and yeah,
Nice.
I've gotten
Who'd
a
you
couple
get?
of good characters.
Can't remember.
It's Wolverine, but it's a variation.
Oh, is it his X-Force or his...
I want to say, yeah, maybe it's X-Force. He's in a black and silver like outfit.
I'm looking at your roster right now.
Oh, well, there
It's
you go.
totally-
I
there
don't
you
have
go.
my phone in front of me.
Yeah, it's the X-Force. Sweet.
And then I got Falcon, like a 3-star, and I have a bunch of 2-stars, but there's a quest or a challenge that requires you to have 1-stars, and I got rid of all my 1-stars except for Iron Man.
That's funny. Yeah, I see. Oh, no, you've got... currently you've got Storm as well.
Yeah, but she's like level 3 or something.
I, in a similar boat, my Iron Man is the only character. I have a level 50 1-star Iron Man, and that's the only level 1 character I have.
They top out at 50, eh? The 1-stars.
1-stars top out at 50. 2-stars top out at level 94. And I don't know what 3-stars top out at yet because I haven't topped one out, so...
Yeah, so I didn't, I made the mistake. I had like lots of good 1-stars, but I don't have enough roster space for, I got all these good 2-star.
That's how they get you, man.
2-star, 3-star, and 4-star. And I'm just like, well, I'm going to get rid of these shitty 1-stars.
Yep. That's a big way that they try and get you to spend money in the game, is because you start off the game with, like, I think it's 5 roster spaces.
Mm-hmm. And I think I've bought in a few, but not with money. I've been using the hero points.
The hero points. Yeah.
So I feel like that's the best thing they do with those hero points is to buy roster slots and not heroes, because you'll get because all the awesome heroes I got for free.
Yep. I've gotten. I don't think I've spent any money on the game, and all of my heroes that I've got are all the ones that I've picked up in the game.
That's pretty cool. It's a fun game to check out and play. Like, it literally only takes a couple minutes to play a match, get your daily rewards, essentially unlock another hero, and like move on. Yeah, don't play it again. I do like how quick it is to get in and out. That's like huge.
Yeah, I mean it's for me it's like the perfect mobile game, right?
No,
because
it
you jump
is.
in.
That's why I've been playing it. Like, I don't play many, but because of that, jump in and jump out quickly.
Exactly,
and it's rewarding, and it's not a bad game. It's fun to play.
Yeah. No, I'm in like, that's why I've had it on my phone. It's the one, I don't have a ton of games on my phone, but I leave it on there and I play every day, usually once or twice, and get my daily, like you said. And other times it's great when you're out and you only have a few minutes.
I think I've had it.
Easily get a game in.
I've had it since it came out. I just never really got into it until lately.
Yeah.
With the whole like Marvel all day, every day thing going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely doing that well right now.
I was playing another game. I was also playing I Am Bread.
Oh. Okay.
I've been seeing people stream this game. I watched a PewDiePie video on this game.
Oh no.
And
okay.
Obviously my interest was piqued. It's now released proper. I guess it was in
was it in early access?
Yeah, it was in early, I think it was in early access when everyone was really making videos on it and so forth.
Right.
And if you don't know, in
you're
this
a loaf
game,
of bread?
No, you're not a loaf. You're a
slice.
You're a slice of bread.
Oh no.
Have you played Quap?
Quap?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I take it by your weird answer. You have not played Quap. Okay.
It does not sound familiar to me. No.
That's the closest thing that relates to this game.
Okay.
Anyway, since that reference doesn't work with you, we'll just start with the I Am Bread reference then. So you play a piece of bread, and with the joystick, I guess you can play with the keyboard as well.
Okay.
I imagine it'll probably be pretty hard. The four corners of the slice are like attach points. So if you hold down a specific button, the bread attaches.
So is the control scheme kind of like a little bit reminiscent of Octodad?
I never played Octodad, but I imagine maybe it is.
Where each button or whatever controls like one leg, kind of an idea? Yeah,
kind of. And the sticks, one stick does camera, but then the other stick does like the movement. So, as a piece of bread can't freaking move, but in this game it can. So, for example,
can you be different kinds of bread? Like, well, maybe I want to be a French baguette.
I imagine you can. I haven't gotten that far.
Are you serious?
I've only played 3 stages, and I want to fucking break my goddamn controller. Because it's hard as hell.
Right.
So,
but you keep playing it.
I don't even know how to describe how this fucking game works. It's so weird. I can and I can't. So, for example, you push, which 2 buttons is it? Of course, I'm drawing a blank because it's not it's the triggers, the left and right bumper, and the left and right triggers on the Xbox controller. Okay. So, for example, the triggers, I might have these mixed up. Say the triggers are the bottom corners of the bread.
Okay.
And the bumpers are the top. So, if I was to hold both triggers down, the bread would like be attached. And if I move the stick forward and back, the bread would wacky inflatable man, it would like lean back and forth.
Okay. So
if I lean the back triggers and then push forward and release the triggers, the bread will like flop forward.
Right.
So essentially kind of like a slinky, you alternate buttons and move the stick and your piece of bread flops across the environment.
This is the most ridiculous thing.
It's fucking stupid, but it's funny.
Okay, so is there actually a game attached to this, or is it more or less just flop around the environments and hope for the best?
You're trying to become toast.
You're trying to become toast.
So somewhere on the level, there's either a toaster or some other device that you need to use to get toasted.
Okay.
Trying to remember, I'm going to get the stages mixed up here. The first stage starts on a kitchen table.
Got it.
So, you wiggle out of the loaf of bread. You start in the loaf.
Oh, you mean in the bag?
Not in the bag, just the loaf's on the table with the plate and butter and stuff near you, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, man, I never realized I could probably go through the butter for bonus points.
Would you want to butter yourself after you become toast?
I don't know. You don't get the option, so.
Oh, okay. So when you become toast, you win?
Yeah, you win the level.
Okay.
So, anyway, you kind of wiggle your way out of the loaf of bread, and then you're flipping and sliding across the table. Because if you actually don't hold on to anything and you move the stick, the bread kind of like nudges like a inchworm across the surface.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know, it makes no bloody sense. Anyway, I got a good rhythm where I'm like, can flip along flat surfaces pretty good. So you start on this table and it's like, you use your camera, look around the room, and you can see, you know, it's like your classic 70s kitchen, like, you know, with kind of like the island that kicks out, and then in the distance you can see the toaster on the counter.
Okay.
But there's like obstacles, like there'll be ants on the counter.
And they want to eat the bread?
Well, they won't eat the bread. They'll affect your edibility factor. So it starts.
So the idea is that you need to get across
you want to
whatever
get
it
to
is
the toaster as fast as possible
Okay.
without getting dirty.
So that somebody can toast you and eat you.
Yes. So when you get dirty, your edibility goes down, which affects your bonus points. And the longer
So if you fall on the ground.
yeah, if you fall on the ground, that's how you die. If you fall on the ground, it's like.
Do you get a 5-second rule at least?
It's more than 5 seconds, but
Right.
you definitely get a 5-second rule because you can fall on the floor for longer than 5 seconds. But like I said, the second you start hitting the ants or the dirt or whatever, it's like this little counter starts going down like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And then once it hits zero, you're garbage. No one's going to eat you, right?
Right.
It's kind of funny too because when you hit the dirt, the bread picks up the dirt and the bread picks up seeds and crap that are in the environment, and it's like the toast just looks funny or the bread looks funny.
Right.
So anyway, I flop around off this table, fall onto a skateboard, nudge the skateboard across the floor of the kitchen. Took me a while to figure out what to do because there was no like path between the table and the kitchen without hitting the floor. But then I noticed there was a skateboard.
Okay.
And then of course, as a piece of bread, you ride the skateboard.
How does the skateboard move?
From the nudging motion of the bread, it just starts going forward.
Oh, this sounds like this sounds like an absolutely stupid game.
It is,
but it also
it
sounds awesome for something like
and it's
streaming.
hard. It's hard because like it's frustrating. I should have streamed it. Is what I should have done. It's very frustrating.
I kind of wish
like,
you would have.
You
now.
die. Anyway, I get the skateboard to the counter, and then like normal piece of bread, I climb up the side of the counter.
What? How?
Because the bread grips on the shit. So you can climb up fucking walls and the counter. So I climb up the counter. There's a piece of bread flopping and flipping myself up this complete 90 degree straight up and down surface, vertical surface, like Mission Impossible style, and it gets hard because when you get to the top of the counter, it's like physics based too, right? So you gotta time your motion to flip over the edge, up and over the edge, and get on top of the counter. So 10 attempts, I'm hitting the side and flying off the counter, going on the floor, going on the floor, going on the floor. I got it on my 10th time. How many F bombs were dropped? Oh, Jesus.
Right.
Get across the counter, up the fucking fridge, jump across the sink. I know, it sounds so fucking stupid.
This sounds ridiculous. I kind of want to play it now, though, that we're talking about it.
And then eventually you get to the goddamn toaster.
Right.
And you've broken like 2 Xbox controllers.
And you're not even edible. Nobody wants to fucking eat you.
And you fucking swore like a sailor and look like an idiot. But yeah, that's I Am Bread.
Wow.
So I played a couple stages of that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a neat game. It's interesting. It's neat. Like I was saying I mentioned Quap. Quap is kind of the first game I ever experienced like this. It's a game where the controls are not ideal.
Okay.
And it's like mastering like a rhythm to get the movement.
So kind of like Surgeon Simulator then.
Yeah, it kind of
very much so. It's hard because the controls are ridiculous.
The controls are so weird because you control each limb individually.
Yeah, and you've got like each finger and stuff, and you need to like grip things and Of course, the bread doesn't have limbs; it has 4 corners. But it's a fun game.
I don't know how much it is. I want to say it's between 10 and $20.
Okay.
It's
And
fun
that's
if you're
out
looking
now.
for something hilarious. Yeah, it's out now on Steam.
Okay.
I don't think it's on anything else. I think it's a strictly PC game.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I showed my wife it, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" She's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "I'm playing." She's like, "What are you playing?" I see a kitchen. I'm like, "I'm the piece of bread." And then she said, "You're a fucking idiot," and walked out of the room.
That's probably what my wife would say or do. It sounds very much like what she would do.
I can say the amount of entertainment I got out of it has been worth the price of admission.
Well, fair enough. I mean, it sounds utterly ridiculous, and it sounds like it would be hilarious with a group of people to kind of throw on the TV and have people try it out.
I think maybe when I have someone over, I'll do a stream because it'll be definitely funner with someone else.
Yeah, that
making
sounds
jokes
like it would be
and
epic.
switching back and forth.
Yeah, it's man, what
and
a
of
game!
Course, I played some more Heroes of the Storm,
right?
And I think I played more Mortal Kombat, but we talked about those.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, but speaking of Heroes of the Storm, there's a new character coming next week.
Really? Have they announced who it is?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Okay, what game's he from?
Here, I'll try to pronounce it. It's Kale Thas Sunstrider. It's one of the Blood Elf heroes.
Oh, okay.
From World of Warcraft. Yeah.
All right. Or Warcraft 3 or one of those games.
I want to say is he a warlock? I feel like he's a warlock. He's definitely a blood elf. I'm looking at his stupid face right now. Anyway, he comes out next week, so that's kind of exciting.
Sweet.
New heroes are exciting.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of fun, a lot of play out of the last hero, Sylvanas. I really like her.
Yeah, that's what you were saying before. You picked up Sylvanas when she got released.
And actually, I started playing Tassadar, which is one of the StarCraft Protoss heroes.
Oh, okay.
He's awesome. My buddy Ryan plays as him all the time, so now I understand why he plays with him.
Oh, okay. So you were able to sort of see somebody actually play and sort of get to know a little bit more like that.
He wasn't around the other day, and I was playing him. He's a support hero.
Oh, okay.
He's cool.
Very cool.
Anyway, Heroes of the Storm. I gave away 7 keys. Soon. So there's 7 more suckers out there getting their asses pwned in that.
Nice.
I think that opens up next week or 2 weeks from now is when it is the close. Oh, no, it's still closed. It's open in June.
Well, the game releases in June.
Yeah, that's weird. So
their open beta's got to happen pretty quick here.
Yeah, I think it's next week.
In all honesty, I probably
can't remember if it's open or closed, but either way, there's going to be a lot of people. I can't remember how many people they said were. You mentioned it, didn't you? You said something like 10 million?
Yeah. So we're kind of sliding into news here, newsy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Activision or Blizzard Activision, they announced like a ton of numbers today. There's some pretty staggering ones in here. Such as the one that you're talking about, Heroes of the Storm has now reached 11 million beta signups.
That's crazy. I wonder if does it specify that all those people are in the game or just people that have signed up to be in the game?
It really doesn't say. All it says is Heroes of the Storm has now reached 11 million beta signups. So my guess is that 11 million people have tried to get in.
Yeah, it can't possibly be that many people, though it is very quick to get a game.
Yeah, it's
like a co-op game takes like 5 seconds and you're in a game. Like there's no waiting, so they must have a pretty big player base for that.
I mean, the game releases June 2nd, so that's when the game officially goes live. So
just over 3 weeks.
Yep.
I love it.
So I mean,
that's good news.
Yep. So there was those numbers. We got some other numbers here. Destiny and Hearthstone combined for over 50 million registered players. So they broke down. We already know that Hearthstone has over 30 million players. So that leaves, 20 million plus for Destiny. So that's a pretty huge number.
I wonder how many of those are active, but either way, 20 million Destiny players is 20 million copies of that game.
Exactly.
Active or not, they've sold 20 million.
Yep. That's huge for that game.
That is ginormous for a new IP. That's like
those two games together have driven over $1 billion in revenue to date.
Jesus Christ.
So there's your billion. There's another $1 billion for those guys.
I need to get a fucking job at Activision Blizzard.
So, yeah. Unfortunately, Call of Duty microtransactions were a bright spot, helping drive increased engagement and monetization.
What the fuck is buying this garbage?
Too many people are,
fucking idiots,
paying stupid money for that. They did announce as well that World of Warcraft dropped from 10 million subscribers at the end of 2014 to currently they're sitting at around 7.1 million subscribers.
That seems to be their sweet spot. Every expansion it goes up 11, 12 million, then it drops down to about 7.
I think you have it probably takes about 3 months for people to kind of get through that new content, right? And then those people are sort of, you got their hardcores that are going to keep playing. And you've got the people that are like, well, I'm good. I don't necessarily need to play this right now. So
I did the raids and maybe not even the raids in 3 months, but they did the new instances and dungeons. So they're probably they're fulfilled.
Yep, exactly. So those are some pretty staggering numbers out of Blizzard Activision today. So
I know a few people who play it and they really like the expansion. They said it was way better than Kung Fu Panda. I mean, Mists of Pandaria.
Yeah.
Oh man, I pissed someone off.
I have
on
no
the
interest in playing World of Warcraft anymore. So
I love that game, man. When it first came out, I think I played it for 6 months straight.
Wow.
Yeah, it was sad. I think something like 8 hours a day, something stupid.
I burned out, believe it or not, in the beta of that game.
Yeah.
I got in the beta. I played so much in the beta that when it finally got released, I was like, I'm good.
I was in the beta, but I did not burn out for a while.
Oh, yeah. So those were sort of our Blizzard Activision news that got dropped on us today.
Speaking of Destiny, though, they had their live stream today of the House of Wolves expansion, another reveal of some of the content in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we talked about it last week, or at least the week before. They showed off, maybe we didn't talk about it too much last week, they showed off the PvP.
Right.
The player versus player stuff, the Trials of Osiris.
Okay.
Which are 3-on-3 group made. I don't think they're match made. I think you have to come in with a group.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you got a pre-group before coming in?
Yeah, they cycle you. It's kind of Counter-Strike style, except for you can revive.
Oh, interesting.
So rounds are, you guys all die. Well, that's it. They win.
Huh.
But you can revive.
Okay.
So, it makes for a neat dynamic. The big thing with that is there's a whole new set of gear that you get. And the more wins you have, you get these coins that basically you get to a win streak of 8 and you can buy the high-end gear.
Oh, I see.
And you can actually give in items if you lose a match. You can actually erase a loss. Because I think it's after, can't remember if it's after 2 or 3 losses, you're out. And then you can buy, a coin to get into the trials again and start over.
Right.
It's a weekend thing. I believe it's Friday to Tuesday.
Huh.
It seems kind of cool for the PvP guys. There's obviously a lot more to it than just that, but definitely a cool new PvP mode, and you can get some really cool gear from it.
That's really good, because I feel like that was one thing there. I know people personally that were kind of really hoping that the PvP was going to be a little bit more than it was. They were, I think, hoping a little more for Halo, in this, and I think they were a bit disappointed. So that's good that they're kind of moving a bit more in that direction for those people.
I like the PvP. It was so infuriating that you would be on the winning team and, the worst guy in your team got some exotic or legendary item and you got nothing. At least this way, you know, it's smaller teams. It's 3-on-3, but at least, you get a good win streak. You could put it towards some awesome gear. That's exclusive to the PvP stuff, and it looks really cool. It's got a kind of Egyptian aesthetic to it.
No, that's fair.
And obviously today they had a live stream talking about the PvE, the player versus environment stuff. 5 new story missions, new strike, which we already knew about.
Right.
And of course, everyone was, pretty upset that there's no raid. Like I was upset as well. But considering I haven't done the last raid because, the barrier entry is so high, I'm not too concerned about this. The new mode, though, the Prison of Elders, everyone assumed it was like a horde mode.
Right. Yeah, we were talking about that, and that was kind of what it was looking like.
Which it kind of is. It's 3 players, level 28, I want to say 30, 32, and 34, the different levels. I could be wrong. There might not be a 30. At level 28, you can do match made, which you can jump in by yourself and they'll stick you with a couple other people.
Right.
And the higher difficulties, you need to bring your buddies.
Okay.
So it's objective based, like almost like rooms or areas or maps. Some of them are kill a certain guy, defuse these bombs.
Interesting.
And
but it's you and your team versus the environment versus
randomly generated
you and other people.
Randomly generated different buffs and so forth are randomized to change them all the time, so it's not the same.
Oh, that's kind of neat. Keep everybody on their toes and keep things fresh.
And then of course, beating those, there's a whole different set of gear and so forth. Okay. It looks really cool. It looks fun. It's different. Like it's not just sit at a point and wait for everyone to storm you. You got to move around the environment and do the different objectives. And there was a bunch of different ones. I didn't watch the whole stream, so
okay.
But definitely, I think people are going to be pretty happy with that mode. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't really played a lot of Destiny recently, but there's this update is really actually kind of starting to pull me back. I think I might. I'm definitely going to check it out. I mean, I've already paid for it, so I'll definitely be checking it out.
I like how they give you the ability to upgrade all your old gear too.
Right.
So, like, if you've got some good stuff, you can bring it in and bring it up to the highest tier of damage or, defense for gear, right? Mm-hmm. Your weapons, like your favorite weapons you can bring up, which is really cool. Seems like they've done a really neat system there for upgrading and making all your old stuff viable.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they're trying to make sure that, all that hard work that people are putting in, they're not just, bye. I
guess other games have done it kind of through their transmogrification systems where, you have the new gun, which is looks like crap, but it does way more damage than your old legendary or exotic gun. Mm-hmm. They let you make your crap gun look like the awesome gun, though it's not the awesome gun, but it looks like it. Right. So that was a lot of game solutions for that kind of situation.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's very true.
Like that's what Diablo 3 does, right?
Yep.
You can make your shit weapon. Well, it's good, does more damage than that legendary you have. But the legendary was a level 5 legendary. It's no good. It's not viable.
Right, okay.
So you can make your stuff look like the cool gear, even though it's not the cool gear. It's just the spec good gear. I guess, so their system is kind of like, well, you can just upgrade everything. You like that gun? You can make it do the same damage as the new tier.
That's awesome.
That makes me
really
happy.
Cool. Yeah,
and then all the stuff I have in my bank is usable. All my weapons are usable. That awesome, super rare gun that everyone cries that I have 3 of, I can still use it.
Have they mentioned anything about being able to give gear to friends and any sort of a trading system yet in that game? Oh, that's the one thing I felt like you've got this great system, but well, if there's shit that I'm never going to use, or you have 3 of something, why can't, why couldn't I give it to a buddy or something?
They've implemented a system where you can convert your materials from the different types back and forth, which is going to be really handy for grinding and leveling up your gear. So that's sort of a solution.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll ever let you just give stuff to other people.
Oh, that's too bad.
At most, I imagine they'll let you trade weapons if you're in a raid with someone.
Okay.
I think if they ever do any type of trading, I think that's the route they'll go, is if you're in a event or a drop or a raid in a group and something drops, like a Vex Mytho class,
right,
which is like a super sought after fusion rifle in that game, which is the one I was making fun of. I have 3, all my characters have it, so I don't have to swap it around.
Bastard.
If we were in that same raid and it dropped for me again, instead of me dismantling it and just throwing it in the trash, I imagine you could probably give it to another raid member. Because that's kind of how it is in Diablo. In Diablo, you can't just give me a legendary, but if we were in a group and it dropped off a boss, then you can give it to me. But you can only give it to me within a certain amount of time too, right?
Really? When I played Diablo 3 with my buddies, have
you played it recently?
No, this was a lot closer to when it came out.
Diablo 3 has changed so much.
Interesting.
Actually, a lot. Yeah, a bunch of my buddies have been playing that a lot. It's different. I can't go talk about it too much because I haven't really played it, but man, that game is so different from when it came out.
Fair enough. I might have to go back to that because before, you could, here, buddy, here you go, and you throw it on the ground and they'd pick it up and that would be that.
I guess it's enough Destiny chat.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about here next?
Well, probably a big one coming out today was Yooka-Laylee, which is
might have been a couple days ago, but
yeah, recently at least. The game was kind of announced a while ago. It's a bunch of ex-Rare guys who worked on Banjo-Kazooie.
Platonic Games.
Yes, is the name of the new company. They're essentially making as they called it, like a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie.
Did you know that Yooka-Laylee was the name of Banjo-Kazooie before they had that name?
I did. That was their in-development name.
Yeah. So now they've just gone and taken it and made it their production name.
Yeah. So they of course went to Kickstarter because that's what everybody does these days when they're trying to figure out how they're going to make a game and need money. So they went to Kickstarter and they got funded incredibly quickly. You were telling me earlier it was something like less than an hour they were funded.
Yeah, I think I heard it was somewhere around 40 minutes.
I don't know how much they were asking for.
£175,000.
Okay.
Which is like 50 million Canadian dollars, I think. I have no idea.
Not quite, but that would be that's like
probably like $575,000. Okay,
that's almost double.
275,000. It's pretty close.
The British pound's almost double our dollar. So that's pretty huge. So they're funded now.
If you ask me, I would not have guessed that there was that much of a demand for a Banjo-Kazooie sequel.
I think that a lot of people have really good memories of Banjo-Kazooie. And I think if they were to go back and play the original Banjo-Kazooie, they might not
liking it.
Yeah. But I feel like it's that nostalgia wagon that they're trying to.
Yeah, you were a child. You remembered it being a lot better than it was.
Yeah. I remember liking Banjo-Kazooie fine too. I played lots of it. It was a good game. I remember
beating it back in the day on N64.
Yeah. And I personally think that these days we kind of need, there's a serious lack of sort of those 3D platforming adventure games, like Jak and Daxter and, Blinks the Time Lords and like that kind of thing. We're seeing a huge lack of that right now. Even Mario has kind of gone more retro than, Mario 64 or Mario, Galaxy. It's gone a lot more back to the sort of Super Mario World style. So, I would like to see more of those types of games. I really enjoyed, some of those. So I'd like to see more of those made. So, if this is kind of going to kick off maybe more of that happening, then I'm all for it.
The art style looks cool. Looks like a little lizard guy with a bat buddy.
Yeah. It's definitely a cute game.
So
and I think
a 3D action platformer duo buddy adventure.
Like I said, Jack and Daxter. Except that it's Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, there will never be another Jack and Daxter.
Oh, don't hurt my feelings like that. Why you gotta do that? I love that first one. It was so much better than Jack 2 and Jack 3. Ugh.
And it was better than Crash.
But I digress.
I can't remember. It was maybe even better than Ratchet and Clank, but I think Ratchet and Clank drove itself into the ground. Was the problem with that franchise.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So the price of admission for Ukulele is only $15. I'm actually just looking at it. I'm contemplating if I want to kickstart it. I think I might.
What platforms is it coming out on?
It looks like Windows, Mac, Xbox One, and PS4.
Okay.
I didn't look into...
So essentially current gen hardware and PC then.
Yeah.
It's cool that they're going to release it on Mac as well.
At least that was the logo I saw here.
Okay.
They got a big... If you go to Kickstarter and you can search it, there's 40 days left.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Windows, Mac, Linux, Xbox One, PS4, and Wii U.
Wow. Okay. Some Wii U support happening.
I imagine the Windows version will come first, and then they'll go from there.
Yeah. That would be my guess also. So... Well, that's kind of neat. Something to look forward to. Obviously, when we know a little bit more, fairly early so far.
Looks cool. I like the art style. I'm glad, like I said, I would have never guessed that people were that excited for this type of game, but obviously there's demand for it. So good on them. If these guys can deliver, that's the goal here. It's a Kickstarter. Yeah. Now they can deliver,
Yeah, exactly.
The graphics.
Now we won't hear about it for 2 years.
Stuff they're showing here, the production quality on the stuff they're showing on the Kickstarter here definitely looks top tier.
Yeah, no.
I just wonder how long or how big of a game it'll be for $15. Or maybe because they're on their own, they can do that. Do a full game for $15. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still awfully early. I mean, we're probably, a year or two out from really seeing a lot of this.
I imagine it'll be a while.
That's
good news. I'm glad everyone's excited for it.
Speaking of really good news, Oculus has released a window that they're actually going to be releasing in now.
I like Windows.
Yeah, I love that they didn't announce like, hey, this is when it's coming out. They were like, this is when we'd like to launch. So they've said first quarter of 2016.
So remember when we were talking about this last, I was saying that these guys need to get out first and before the other guys.
So they're not going to be.
No. But I think this is kind of to cut off any speculation as to what's going on with them. It's like, look, we're almost ready. We are coming. Here's our window. Just so people wouldn't be like, okay, well, Oculus is not coming out forever. Screw them. We're going to move to the other guy. But at least knowing that you're only a couple months after. I don't know. I'd be surprised if Valve's headset comes out this fall or winter like they say it's going to.
I think it will, but I think it's going to, the price is just going to be so prohibitive that I don't really know how much of a splash it's really going to make.
So, they announced...
It's interesting to me because the Oculus is going to end up showing up kind of right in between the HTC Vive and the Morpheus.
Mm-hmm. I don't think the Morpheus is really a competitor with those two.
Yeah.
Yes, no? I don't know. It is and it isn't.
I know, right? I'm not really sure either because, like, on one hand, obviously the Morpheus is going to be for the PS4.
I think you know what? We might be surprised at how successful the Morpheus is. Because it's going to have the lowest barrier of entry out of all of these.
I suspect as much, although I don't know is the other question. Like, I don't know. I mean, Oculus hasn't even released a price point yet. I mean, they're working on trying to make it as, cost efficient as they can, but they still haven't announced the price.
No.
And I mean, back when they were touting on their Kickstarter and stuff, we want to release it at $350 or whatever. I would be very amazed if they managed to hit that price point with the technology and just the screens and stuff that they're putting in it. And I'm thinking I'm going to be surprised if they can even hit 500 as a good price point. Mm-hmm. With all the tech and stuff that they have to put in there.
We've got pictures on the website and the Facebook if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It looks nice. It's clean.
Yep.
It's not
looks
much
really cool.
It's not much different than their Crescent Bay prototype.
No.
A little less
blingy,
funky looking. It's just definitely nice and clean.
Yeah. No, it's a good looking unit. And I mean, we've both had hands on with the Oculus, and I mean,
of course, I checked their website immediately to see if I could order their new, if they updated the dev kit, which they haven't, unfortunately.
No. I don't know if they're going to be updating that dev kit.
I was hoping that they would have updated it, and they're like, sweet.
I think that's exactly why they probably won't until they release the next one. Until they release the consumer version, because I think they would know that too many people would just go out and buy it now.
Well, it's good they announced a date. So we've got 2 headsets next year.
Well, they haven't announced a date. They've announced a window for when they're hoping.
Yeah, 3-month window.
Which is a very large window
not really.
That they could totally
January, February,
moved.
March.
Yeah, but it's also a window that could very easily get moved.
True.
That's one of those windows where they could be like, yeah, we were shooting for Q1, but it kind of got pushed into Q2. You know what I mean? So these things have a funny way of doing that sometimes.
I think that was like a very reactionary announcement.
Yeah.
Just to be like, hey, we're still here.
We're still relevant.
Because,
Facebook
honestly,
we're still here, guys.
After GDC and everything, and obviously from what I've heard, everyone's been talking about the other headsets.
Yeah, man.
Though they're the original, they've been in development for so long that it's like people are almost fatigued. It's like, come out already, So,
oh yeah.
So then
we've been talking about it for 2 years, and a few developers, and we've had some hands on here and there.
Sony and HTC devices are new and exciting. Everyone's like, oh man, these things are amazing. And it's like, Oculus is, but what about us? We were here first, guys.
Hey guys, we're going to release in a window next year, hopefully. So
good.
So at least it's cool though. At least it's 3D is finally starting to happen.
I can't wait.
In a relevant headset way.
I'm gonna get one of the PC ones, and I'm almost positive I will definitely get the Morpheus for PS4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be I'm gonna wait and see on the Morpheus. I'm very curious to find out, one, the price point, and from what I've heard, it's really quite good. But the biggest thing for me with the Morpheus is games.
They'll come.
Nobody's announced anything.
E3.
Morpheus is coming out next year.
E3.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is right around the corner.
It's going to be VR3. It's a new name. It's going to be all VR, all day, every day.
Huh? I'd be all right if they announced something awesome for Morpheus. For next year.
They were smart. There would be a huge presence for these things at the E3, more so than any other. Like they had Oculus and stuff when I went to E3, but it was, and I think they had Morpheus last year, but it was all closed doors, behind the scenes.
Hush, yeah.
Special appointments, not for the general public to check out, or at least attendees to check out, because it's not open to the public.
Right.
So I imagine this year there should be a lot of booths and demos for people to check out. If they want to get if they want to get the hype on this stuff going, there better be a huge presence for this stuff. If there isn't a huge presence, then that might make me concerned for what kind of content is coming.
For me, like I said, I mean, the biggest thing is that they've announced all this tech, but nobody has announced any real games coming out. Nobody's announced any killer apps. And ultimately it's great to have the technology, but if there's no killer apps to utilize it, then what's the point?
Yeah.
So I'm sort of holding off I want these things to take off, because from what I've played with the Oculus, it's awesome. It's exciting, and I can't wait for it to get here. But without games to play on it, I'm definitely not going to be buying one until there is. So that's sort of where I'm at with that. But at least we know that there's a release window, and this is happening. It's finally happening.
I think we've talked about VR long enough to have a whole podcast episode.
Yeah, probably. It's exciting though, man.
It is.
It's awesome technology.
It's one of the things I'm most
cool.
excited for.
Yeah. It has the potential to be the huge game changer in our lifetime.
Yeah,
again in our lifetime, I should say.
It's that Mario 64 moment all over again.
Exactly. And that's exciting if it actually transpires into that. So,
also in news, I'm kind of excited about it. Actually, I think it leaked last week and Disney was probably not very happy about it. Because I saw pictures on a Twitter stream and they
usually aren't happy about it.
I want to say a European retailer leaked it. And then obviously it was no surprise because this seems to be Disney's Call of Duty. Disney Infinity 3.0 edition was announced.
Yes, I saw this blasting all over my Twitter.
So, yeah, Star Wars. No surprise.
Yeah.
I remember being at a panel at last year's PAX where
that may or may not have leaked.
One Mr. Vignacchi may have mentioned something about the Force be with you and dropping some not so subtle hints. Like a lead hammer on the floor.
Do remember something about these.
Yeah, he pretty much said it.
Yeah, he said it without saying it.
Yeah, that Star Wars.
But anybody that was in earshot.
But obviously, as soon as Disney was announced as one of Star Wars, this was pretty obvious. So
yeah,
it's cool. Infinity 3.0 with Star Wars, and actually, there's some more Marvel stuff too. In play sets, it's based on episodes 1 to 3.
Yep.
Which no one will buy. I mean, some people will buy. Idiots. I'm most excited for the episodes 4 to 6, obviously, which are based on the good Star Wars.
The good Star Wars.
And then, of course, there's going to be a playset on The Force Awakens.
Right.
And then they were going to have more Marvel characters based on, the Avengers and Ultron.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Essentially, they're leveraging all of their properties in, awesome ways.
Bunch of new characters that they haven't done before. A couple rehashes of ones they've done before. Looks like some of the new gameplay modes might be pretty cool. They were showing like Battle of the Hoth scenes flying around in the Millennium Falcon and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm going to guess that the playsets in this one are probably going to be way more advanced than any of the ones we've seen so far.
Yeah, I haven't played Disney Infinity myself. I was tempted to pick it up.
Skylanders is better. I just cut straight to the point, like from a straight solid gameplay style. Skylanders, I think, is a little more solid and developed.
Right.
The Infinity games are kind of like fetch quests, and the worlds seem kind of empty a little bit.
Oh, I see.
I think their big thing is the toy box, and the custom games was always their big strong suit.
Yeah, I saw that. But I mean, if you're not really into that, then I guess that's sort of what's the point?
Like I have Infinity 2.0 basically because I like the Marvel characters. Like I collected most of the Marvel characters. I'm missing a couple, but I just like the style of the figures, the art style that they have as well. Okay. So I just like them from that aspect, and I've collected a few of them.
Yeah,
the game, I play it and it's like, man, this could be it could have a lot more depth to it.
Well, I was sad to hear that unlike Skylanders, they didn't put together like a real game with their various properties. It's like they didn't want them to all play together. It was really strange to me that they wanted them to play together in the toy box.
Yeah, the play sets are all segmented.
But not in the play sets. Like
Marvel's Marvel.
That was the one thing
Pirates of the Caribbean is Pirates of the Caribbean.
And to me, that's a huge missed opportunity. I don't know.
Well, you can still play with them all, but yeah, I think it's because some of the games have different mechanics for the style of characters for them that just won't work with some of them.
Yeah, and I understand that. But, I mean, come on. Like, you've got Skylanders and, look at, some of the other games that have come out there where Disney and Square Enix have, done, oh man, I'm having a brain fart now with the key swords and stuff like that there. Kingdom Hearts. I mean, they've got all of those properties kind of melding together. I mean, why not be able to do something, kind of like that, but have all of them, utilize all the properties?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't help but feel like that's a massive missed opportunity for them.
It was a surprise, not surprise. Like, obviously, everyone knew this was coming. I do have a good feeling, though. I think that this one is going to be the best one in terms of a campaign, like co-op 3D action platformer. Just from what I saw from the trailer, like, it seems like a bunch of the stuff is just so much more refined than the other games and more alive. Seem more alive. Like the city in the Marvel Avengers playset, it's just dead. It's like empty.
Right.
So I think they've learned from the mistakes they made with that and the lessons. I think they've just gotten better. I'm pretty sure it's going to be really good. If not, hey, I'm going to get to buy Darth Vader and Han and Chewie and Luke Skywalker figures and more nerdy shit for my shelf that has no room.
Yeah. More plastic figurines to put on the shelf.
Yeah.
Which sort of brings us to our next segment here of Amiibo Watch 2015.
Oh, Jesus.
So, Rick, how's your Amiibo situation going?
Stupid fucking
I see that Nintendo released an apology. Like, was that earlier today? They announced an apology saying that they're sorry for the way they've handled all these Amiibos.
Yeah.
The shortages are bullshit and they're going to try and do better.
Here, I'm going to find the statement here. I just need a second because I don't have it in front of me.
I read that and I had to laugh. I won't lie. Man. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's funny.
Okay, here we are. This is from Nintendo. They released it on their Facebook page like 2 days ago. We appreciate the enthusiasm that our fans continue to show toward Amiibo. Sales for the product have exceeded our expectations. We understand how frustrating it can be at times. What? No way. I've never been frustrated or talked about being frustrated with buying these things. Have I? No, it's been super easy. If consumers are unable to find certain figures, and we apologize for that, we're trying to meet the demands of our fans and consumers by increasing the amount of Amiibo we manufacture and ship to retail. We may continue to see consumer demand outpace supply levels for certain characters at times, but we will do our best to prevent that from happening. As our library of Amiibo continues to grow, some figures will be easier to find than others. Yeah, like fucking Mario that nobody needs. We are constantly looking for the opportunity to reissue Amiibo and are already making plans to bring back some currently out-of-stock Amiibo figures. Stay tuned for details.
Okay.
And then a bunch of other bullshit. Yeah, we know you can't get them.
Sorry about that. We're going to try and make some more. We fucked up.
We're going to try and make some more. We're not going to tell you anything or announce any relevant information. We're just going to,
it's lip service.
Say we're sorry.
It's better than not saying they're sorry.
The one thing that they did mention here is they're going to work on updates on social media and working closely with retailers.
Right.
Hopefully that comes to, what I was talking about, how announce when they're going to have pre-orders open, let them know their numbers, make it so these systems don't crash. Like every time, it doesn't matter who you are. Best Buy in Canada crashed. GameStop EB servers have crashed.
Yeah.
Amazon in the US hasn't even done their pre-orders yet. I don't know what the hell they're doing because pre-orders have gone up in Canada for Wave 4. Actually, Wave 5 pre-orders have opened up in Europe.
Really?
So maybe it's going to get better. That's all we can hope. Maybe at E3 they'll have some information. It is nice that they apologized. They haven't done this yet, on behind the scenes. Apparently they've said stuff about, oh yeah, we're working on it. And it's been, he said, she said about figures getting re-released.
Right. Okay.
No one knowing anything concrete. So at least they've acknowledged it, that there's a problem and they're going to try and fix it. So I guess all we can do is wait and see. Hopefully it gets better. It's super frustrating. I've given up for the most part, and I've heard stories of people they're just done. The level of frustration is not worth it for these stupid toys.
Well, they're more or less useless toys at this point.
They are useless. They just look cool.
Fair enough.
If I had a license to print money, I would print money. I wouldn't sit on my ass and make apologies. I would just get her done.
Well, fair enough.
Especially when you're at selling consoles. At least sell stupid plastic toys. Fucking Nintendo. Are we done? I think we're done with news.
Yeah, I think we pretty much hit all the real news.
I think there was some other crappy little things. Nothing of importance.
Depending on how you look at it, we'll throw this in there as well. Activision did announce Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
Yeah, I missed that completely.
For those people still holding hope out there that they're going to make another good Pro Skater game, I won't lie, it's by the same guys that have made the last several. So they made like the Tony Hawk Ride.
So that gives me no hope of it being a good one.
That's kind of where I'm at with this. Unfortunately, the goodwill that they had off of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and 3 kind of went down the toilet with Ride in the last couple. So I'm holding a very I'll wait and see mentality with it. I mean, they have been sort of not really relevant in an awful long time. So, but who knows? Maybe they can, resurrect the sort of the skateboard, snowboard segment again. But we'll find out.
Rock Band and Guitar Hero are coming back. It's time for extreme sports to come back.
Oh, yeah. Because it's extreme.
Yeah, to the max. 720, 1080, 360.
Woo.
Kickflip. Yeah. I played the old Tony Hawks, but yeah, I think after 3, maybe 4, it's like, oh, this is all the same. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that's fair.
They were fun, but they weren't my cup of tea. That's exciting for the people who love those games and want that to come back. But like you said, the company I have no faith in that company making a good Tony Hawk.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing for me is that's where I'm at. I mean, I look at their track record with these types of games and I go, yeah. So I mean, here's hoping. I mean, I don't hope for anybody to make a bad game. And obviously, sometimes studios make bad games and then they manage to pull out a win. So we'll see. Again, all they've essentially done so far is they've announced it. They did say that it is going to be cross-platform, old gen and current gen, which sort of makes me feel like this is a cash grab. If you're, at this point, you're still going to release a PS3 and an Xbox 360 version.
You're just looking for numbers. You don't have faith on it selling on its own merit.
Well, I mean, I understand that there's a huge amount of people out there still using those systems, though, that haven't upgraded to the new ones. So, I mean, I get that, but I can't help but feel like at this point, that's really going to hold the game back a lot, So, but we'll see. I mean, again, super early, so.
Cool.
So, yeah, with that, I mean,
in good news.
Yeah.
Well, we both went to go see Avengers.
Totally. Avengers. So, what'd you think?
I loved it.
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know if you want to go into spoiler territory or not.
I think it's still fairly soon. I mean, it's only been out a week. So, I mean, I don't think we should probably go into spoiler territory.
Okay.
But I thought that they did a great job of... I mean, obviously, this is definitely building up, for more coming, which is really cool. Obviously, they've already announced, Captain America, Civil War, and, obviously Ant-Man's coming out later on in the summer. This in no way, from what I can tell, ties into that one, but I don't know if Ant-Man is going to tie into this stuff as well. My guess would be he's going to tie in somehow to Civil War and stuff, but no, I thought that they did a great job. I really did. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a really good job of sort of humanizing the characters in this movie.
Yeah, we definitely got to learn a lot or more about a few characters that haven't gotten a lot of the limelight or spotlight you know, obviously Iron Man's always had such a huge role in all these movies.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And of course he still does, you know.
Oh yeah, because he's fucking Iron Man. But I mean, I thought that they did a really good job in this one of sort of, you know, a lot of times even just them not using necessarily their, you know, Iron Man and, you know, Hawkeye names, but their actual names. It sort of kind of humanized the characters and kind of reminded you throughout the film, like, hey, these are real people and these are things that are happening to them. And, you know, yes, they're superheroes and yes, they're here and they're doing this, but they're still, you know, people. And that was really cool. I like that. Yeah. Overall, I mean, if you're going to see it, we went and saw it. We checked it out in D-Box.
We don't have that here, unfortunately. That's that's not just the vibrating chairs. That's like the moving chairs and shit.
They move.
Right?
It's great. Yeah.
It's like fucking being on a roller coaster.
It was a lot of fun. Oh yeah. And in this movie, it was great. I mean, it was a great movie for it. Lots of action, lots of good stuff going on.
So I assume everyone's seen the trailer, so we can talk about some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I feel like, that's
everyone
safe.
knows Ultron. It's Age of Ultron. He's the main villain in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was fantastic. I thought he was an awesome character.
Yeah, I thought he was a really cool villain. I think James Spader voicing him was awesome too. He did a good job.
I loved some of the lines and scenes, the way he delivered stuff. Oh,
yeah.
There's one scene in particular, the one with Black Widow.
Oh, yeah.
I was like grinning when that happened. It was just so amazing. Just cliche one-liner, but just the visual that went with it was awesome. You know, and I don't want to spoil it because it's such a good scene. But enough said about that. It was a fun movie. It was. I don't know. It got like some people like slagged it and didn't give it good ratings. I don't understand why. I guess if they got that superhero fatigue, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will give it is it was a bit complicated. I mean, I feel like there was some stuff about it that they kind of made it a lot more sort of complicated than it necessarily needed to be. You know, but with that being said, like, I understand that with each of these movies, they're building their own movie, but they're also tying into the previous films, and they're also, you know, building
and setting seeds for like the next 3 movies.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's, you know, I mean, I can definitely see like where some people might, you know,
I didn't think it was complicated at all. Oh, I thought,
you know,
it was a good story.
You and I are both like comic book fans and things like that as well, right? So, I mean, we kind of know a bit more of the history of a lot of these characters. I mean, we walked out of it, and even my wife was a little bit like, huh, so I'm a little bit confused. What about this? And like, what's going on with that? And like, you know, because people are so used to watching movies in a very linear fashion. You know, they're used to watching The Dark Knight and, you know, Batman Returns, and like, you know, they're used to seeing sort of those 3 movies. They're all directly related to one another, and that's it. It's a whole story. Whereas with the Avengers and this whole Marvel universe, they're doing it like comic books, where you've got, you know,
it's like 5 movies tie into the one.
Yeah, and then you've also got the TV series that is affecting it as well, and then you've also got the other TV series that's affecting it, and you've got that movie over there that's also tying into it. So it's like, you know, like when we came out of it, she was kind of going, I kind of wish we would have watched like the last couple before this so that I could kind of get, you know, a little bit reminded of what, you know, they're building on and what's all going on here. So I can kind of see it from a non-comic book fan, you know, I can kind of see if you're not, like, for her even, she's not used to that sort of a non-linear story building that they do with the comic books, right? Where you've got a storyline and then you've got the offshoot stories and you've got that character over there doing that thing that's also affecting this story, and, you know, so I mean, I can kind of see a few of those things, but I really enjoyed it, and I still feel like if you're gonna see it, go see it in the theater, because it is worth seeing it on the big screen.
I loved it. I thought it was 3D, awesome.
So
it was 3D IMAX for us, no moving chairs. But I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. So no, I mean, I really enjoyed it.
I don't know. I have to watch it again before I could say if I think it's the best one yet. But,
Okay.
Winter Soldier's amazing. Guardians of the Galaxy, amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of the best ones so far. Whether it's the best one, I have to see it again. And when we left the movie, I made a joke to my wife. I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you in like 3 hours. I'm going to go watch it again. I could have seriously sat down and watched it again.
That's awesome. No, that's good. I mean, I don't know. I think I like the Winter Soldier. That one is probably up there as my favorite. And I don't know if this was as good as the first Avengers. But that being said, the first Avengers...
I think I liked it better than the first Avengers.
The first Avengers had that impact because you'd never seen that before. It's a little bit...
the first Avengers was kind of like their origin story.
Yeah, a little bit. But no, I honestly, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I'm really looking forward to obviously the ones to come after this.
Yeah,
Black Panther, Ant-Man,
the mid credit, the mid credit scene. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about setup? There's like, we're not, I think Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously, if you haven't seen spoilers of Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen it. I'd say,
but if you haven't, cover your ears right now.
Yeah, cover your ears for a couple seconds, maybe a minute or two. Guardians of the Galaxy sets up the whole Thanos and Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity Gems, storyline, which is humongous in the Marvel Universe.
Yep.
So that movie did a really good job of saying, okay, this is what's on the line. These amazing relics that are so powerful you can destroy worlds with.
Yep.
And the human stories, they've come in contact with these things unknowingly. And
exactly.
Essentially, that's what the Avenger stories of, the first one was, the scepter.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one goes on and builds on that. And yeah, that scene, that end credit scene is like, oh yeah, shit's gonna get real.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. And I mean, I'm just happy that it's happening as a comic book fan, finally seeing, sort of all the comic books and stories that I loved growing up, coming to fruition.
They've been doing such a good job of bringing that universe to life. And I think that is because Marvel's so involved this time around, as opposed to just, lending out their licenses and handing it off. No, it's like, okay, we're the studio. We've got control. This is what's happening every step of the way with directors, actors, and writers. Everyone's like so super tight knit involved. And I guess that's part of the reason why Joss Whedon's not doing the next movie. It's too much work. Like he said, I guess he's been working on these last two for, I guess, the last 5 or 6 years of his life.
Oh yeah.
It feels like the last one just came out, but there's years before that came out, and then the years to make this one.
The planning and everything.
And he was saying the requirements on these movies to make
is crazy,
is so high, and that's why these movies turn out so well, and these universes are so well realized. That's not a fluke. That's a lot of freaking hard work, a lot of systems at play.
It's also a lot of money though too. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking how stressful is that if somebody goes to you and says, okay, we're going to give you $250 million to make a movie? You know what I mean? Luckily it's worked out in both times. They've been huge films. I mean, this one's on the way to,
it's already setting
cross
records.
$1 billion. I mean, I think last I checked, it was sitting at $680 million or something. So, I mean, it's doing very well. And that was only its first week.
Yeah, I don't think any of these movies will ever flop with the amount of involvement and work they put into them. I loved it. It was so enjoyable.
Yeah, no, like I said, I really liked it as well. So
maybe we'll have to have a spoiler cast and get into some nitty gritty. Here's some cool stuff. Cool characters, cool scenes.
Yeah, give it a couple weeks.
Neat insight. And like you said, there was a lot of development of all the characters.
Yeah.
Which hinged around the introduction of a new character. That's how we got to see all this inside stuff going on with these guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, and not only that, but I mean, well, we won't spoil it. I don't want to say too much more for the people that haven't seen it yet. So,
yeah, go watch it. I'm going to go watch it again. I don't know if I'm going to watch it again this weekend, but I'm definitely going to be watching it again pretty quick with one of my buddies.
Sweet. Yeah. No.
That being said, there was a trailer to Mad Max at the start. Man, I think that movie looks cool. I was excited for the game. I think I'm a trailer sucker.
Yeah, I got to go back and watch the original ones. I mean, I don't remember them they're moving me like they did for some people.
They're not that great. They're corny. They're.
But, I mean, I really do like Hardy. There, he's awesome.
Oh, Tom Hardy's awesome.
Yeah. Sure. So I mean, I'll be curious to find out how that works. So
I'm excited to see it. It looks pretty neat.
Yeah,
it's the same. Got a question this week. Same director.
I do not know.
No, I'm telling you. Did you know that it's the same director?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's insane. The guy's
that's awesome.
70-something years old.
Well, and the last one came out when? Like
30
in the
years
90s?
Like no, not even the 90s. Older than that.
Because there was two, right? Mad Max and then Mad Max Entered the Thunderdome? Okay, there was a third one. I didn't see the third one, I don't think. Interesting. Well, I got some homework for me to do this weekend, maybe.
Oh, hey, you got a question here.
Yeah, I did. It showed up on... I shared our feed earlier, and it showed up on my on the one that I'd shared, so it wasn't on the main one, which is kind of funny because it sort of ties into the Avengers. Mike Parkerson, a good buddy of mine, wrote in and asked our thoughts on the Joss Whedon Twitter abandonment and feminism in gaming, which, wow. First of all,
no comment. I plead the fifth.
First of all, I will mention, for anybody out there that didn't know, Joss Whedon sort of said, you know what, I've had it with, well, he didn't actually say anything. He just deleted his Twitter account. And then, of course, people started wondering, like, oh, why? And there was all these, like, rumors running around on the internet saying, like, oh, it was because of this or it was because of that. And there was some feminism in gaming attached to that. I don't know how on earth that happened. He actually, in an interview earlier, I think it was today, actually said, you know, all of that's BS. The reason he decided to quit, he said, was he needs to take a break, and Twitter is not the way to take a break. You know, it's the noisiest thing in the world, and he needs to just step back from all of that, and he just needs to write, and he needs to focus on the next thing that he's going to get into. And he just didn't feel that he could do that, dealing with Twitter and the feedback and everything that was just happening with that. And he said flat out, like, he said, yeah, there's lots of people that are assholes on Twitter. And he said, but there's a lot of people that are really supportive and they give a lot of love. He said, so, you know, for whatever reason people thought or they heard that he quit Twitter, he said that's not true. He just said, I need to step back and just focus on what I need to focus on, and there's just too much noise on Twitter.
Well, he said he kind of did it like as part of the job. The movie's done. I delivered it. Okay, my job's done.
Yeah. So, I mean, so as far as that aspect of this goes, that's what I'll sort of say about the Joss Whedon part of it. Twitter, as far as the last part of this
before
goes,
we get to that, I want to say something about Twitter.
Sure.
If I had millions of followers, I'd probably feel the exact same way. Like, you have so many awesome people that you interact with. Mm-hmm. Like, I couldn't imagine having millions of followers. And you got to remember that, you know, even if just 1% of those people, like, messaged you or replied to your comments, imagine how busy your phone probably just must buzz off the hook.
Well, you'd shut that off.
I guess you would have to.
You have to.
So then... But then, yeah. You know, when you do happen to check your shit, you know, I'm taking a dump or I'm in line at the movie theater or whatever, and I'm like, oh, let's see what's going on Twitter. Fuck you, Rico. Fuck you, Rico. Die in a fire. I know where you live. I'm going to kill your family. I fucking hate you, Rico. You ruined my favorite thing. You ruined the Avengers. You ruined Iron Man. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. F-bomb, F-bomb. Bunch of other derogatory terms. Yeah. Like, that would be all you see. And then it'd be the one, oh my God, you totally touched me. I love you. You made the best movie. You're awesome. Buried between 50,000 just shit comments. I would probably as much as I love Twitter, I'd probably have a fake Twitter account so that I could enjoy Twitter.
Yeah,
I think
no doubt,
if you're a celebrity, I think you almost have to.
Yeah, I don't think that's a,
because if you had that many people, it would be unmanageable. Like, Twitter sucks and Twitter's awesome all at the same time.
Oh yeah, Twitter can be amazing.
But I think it's proportionate to how many followers you have, right? And I guess how sharp your teeth are, right? Like, I'm sure, I don't know how, I only have 140 followers, so I couldn't imagine what...
I'm not in a position where, I have that problem, but...
I kind of wish it was a problem I had, but, I need to figure out what's going to get me that kind of celebrity.
So as far as weeding on Twitter, that's kind of what I'm going to say about that.
I probably, you know what, I probably wouldn't be on Twitter either.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have time. You're making movies. You're working. So it's like a distraction. A distraction
exactly, which is exactly why he's not on there anymore.
A distraction into a tunnel that means nothing. It does nothing. It gets nothing accomplished. There's some cool interactions for us normal folks.
Yeah.
But when it comes to overall,
him,
it's probably not worth the hassle.
No.
And he probably doesn't take part in Facebook either at all.
Probably not.
You just don't.
Yeah. So,
as awesome as the internet is, it sucks a lot too.
Yeah.
I don't know. The second part of his question is a tough one.
I won't lie. As a guy, as a male person who, likes women and has nothing against them being involved in stuff like that, I honestly don't really feel that I am the right person to ask about feminism in gaming. As an outsider, because I'm a dude, I look in on it and I feel like it's very conflicting for even the people that are involved.
Mm-hmm.
Like I read stuff on, some of the people that I follow on Twitter that are girls, and they say, this feminism and gaming stuff that's going on is BS and this is ridiculous and, this and that. And then I have other women that are on my Twitter feed and they're the exact opposite.
This is awesome.
This is
way
totally
to go, Blizzard.
Great.
Way to put a fat, bulky chick in your game to represent real women. Stuff like that.
So I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a guy and I don't really know how.
And you like boobs.
These are all very true things. Do I feel that games have been very male centric? Yes,
absolutely. And
do I also know a lot of women who like that, like who like those characters, who like the Lara Crofts and the Bayonettas and stuff?
Oh, tons.
Totally. I know lots of girls that love those characters.
All the cosplay girls. And they have no problems with them.
But I also know lots of girls that do, and they don't like those characters. So
because they're not size 3s and they're not wearing mini skirts with their fake boobs popping out. So yeah, they definitely have issue with these characters, whereas other women don't have problems with these characters because they fit in that image. So to them, oh yeah, nothing's wrong here. That's how I look. I can run around in those outfits and have fun. Of course you can, because you're not a typical female either.
Yeah, but again, I don't honestly feel like I should really be commenting on this because at the end of the day,
you're not a woman.
That's really up to women. So I mean, as far as, feminism in gaming and stuff goes, like I'm a guy, and right off the bat, does that really allow me to sort of talk about feminism in gaming? I mean,
it's hard,
I'm a guy. So obviously
it kind of, and it's hard to say, like it goes both ways, right? Like all the men are super sexualized. They've all got 60 packs. They're all super muscly. They're all better looking than every average gamer, but no one pays mind to that. That's fine. All the guys in Dragon Age and all the heroes in Mass Effect that women are in love with, that's fine that they're, stereotypical sexualized characters, So there's like a little bit of a double standard too, which, kind of bothers me. It is entertainment. It's all fictional. It's all fake, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. And
I think that,
as long as everyone,
that right there, that statement that you just made, that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, I feel like that is the biggest thing that people seem to forget.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, people freak out and they yell at, Anna Sarkeesian and these people. And I think that that's wrong. Like, those people should be allowed to have their opinions, and they should not be, people shouldn't be yelling and screaming at them and threatening their lives and shit because they have different opinions. That's, I think, ultimately what people need to remember here is that people are going to have different opinions, and that's what people need to remember.
Like, I don't agree with her, but I don't tell her that. I don't go on the internet and threaten. She's entitled to her opinion. No one at the end of the day is right or wrong on any side of this topic. And everyone is entitled to say how they feel and express their opinion, and no one has the right to tell someone that they can't. That's the biggest issue.
And again, we're both guys. So
yeah, exactly.
Are we really in a position to talk about feminism?
All my games will have topless and, girls in lingerie. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just kidding. But you know what?
Yeah.
It's obviously a super touchy subject.
Yeah, especially
and some
right
of it's
now.
Gross. Like, playing Bayonetta or playing some of the definitely Japanese games, or even some of the Metal Gear parts in Metal Gear make me cringe and feel uncomfortable. I'm like, dude, really? What are you, 12? Like, it's just perverted and perverse. Like, just, why is this even in here? There's no effing point.
Yeah,
some of it's embarrassing, and I guess it's good that
that's right there is some of the points that people are making.
It's good that there's a commentary and guys are actually thinking about this. I'm going to say Japanese games are definitely worse at having any sensitivity to these issues.
Yeah, on the flip side, there's a definite cultural difference there as well. I mean, again, I'm not in a position to really talk about,
it's hard.
honesty,
I just don't agree with the people that are super upset and getting angry about it.
That's ultimately my feeling.
It's the same thing with the parents, right? And the violent video games and the violent movies. Mm-hmm. There's a real simple solution. It's called the off button.
Yep.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't play it. Don't expose yourself to it. If you don't like the racist book, you don't read it. If you don't like the Bible, you don't read it. You create the world you live in. You don't have to interact with these peoples or even entertain their racist or, homophobic or sexist opinions or viewpoints. That's the beauty of this world, right?
Yeah, exactly. We live in a world where we can walk away from all of that, and we don't have to deal with it if we don't want to.
That's the awesome part.
That being said, though, I think that, obviously the stuff that's happening with some of these, women and things like that, I think that stuff's wrong. Just straight up wrong.
Yeah. And
nobody should feel threatened for having a difference of opinion of other people.
Those people that do that stuff, I don't know. I can't say with any, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is, like, with any authority that these guys, like, have any sympathy from anyone. They must be such a huge minority. They're equivalent to, like, terrorists, but on the internet.
Yeah.
Because they're so out there and insane with their viewpoints and their reactions over stuff that they have nothing to do with.
But I mean, really, is that any different than the crazy, Southern Baptist churches that are, out there saying that we need to change everything about everything, and they don't like, everything that everybody else is doing, even though it doesn't affect them in any way, shape, or form? I mean, it's the same problem that we run into in all various forms.
That's why you need to get a license to get on the internet.
I don't even think it's just the internet, though. I think it's just that people are going to have
new foundation
of opinions.
Trademarked here. You have to register for an internet ID. We're going to issue smart RFID cards only for the low price of $150. And you have to insert this card into your computer So any activity you do in terms of commenting, you have to put your ID in. So you're held liable for any comments that you put on the internet. No acronyms or AKAs or handles or anything. It's you out there. And if you do stupid shit, the cops can come knocking, and you know what? I bet you the internet would change. But then everyone will freak out.
It would,
man.
but
privacy,
obviously
privacy
and stuff, right?
Man, who are we kidding? There's no more privacy. Let's get over it. Privacy went out decades ago.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I think, our take on that. I don't know. That's like you said, it's a pretty touchy subject, and I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm a dude, so I don't really have much authority.
I'm a dude,
any of that,
and I like girls. So whatever they say goes.
There you go.
Let's be honest, they run the whole game anyway.
That's very true.
Is this another question here? Is that for real?
Yeah, my buddy Ramsey threw this in, and he's like, "Should have I sold Witcher 3 to my little brother for more than $20?"
How did he sell Witcher 3 to his brother for $20? Doesn't even make sense.
My guess is that he bought it or had it given to him, and he decided to sell it to his little brother.
It's not even out yet.
It would be a pre-code or whatever, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe he bought a new video card.
Yeah, exactly. So in that case, well, you made $20, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't have sold it because it's the freaking Witcher 3. I would have kept it and played it myself.
But you could have easily got 40, idiot.
And on that bombshell.
No, you're not an idiot. If you're listening to us, you're a genius and the smartest man alive.
Yeah.
Don't tell your little brother.
But tell him to listen to this podcast for that answer. So, well, I think
that's it for questions?
that's about it for today.
Cool.
Yeah, those are the two that we got this week. So
we got another one in the bag.
Yeah.
A little longer than usual. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's because of the heady question.
Yeah. Yeah. Heavy question. What were you thinking,
Mike? Jeez.
Yeah.
Making us talking stuff about topics we have no right commenting on.
Hey, I appreciate it. Mike Parkinson over at RP Wabam. Check those guys out, by the way. They have some wicked YouTube videos. They've done some pretty cool stuff. So, I highly recommend you check them out. Again, RP Wabam. So, yeah. And on that, I think...
I guess we can move into house cleaning.
Cleaning. Yeah. You got anything cool coming up on the site this week?
There's 2 days left in our contest for that exclusive Lucario amiibo.
Ooh.
So that closes on Friday.
So pretty much when this podcast is out?
No, we come out tomorrow.
Okay.
Thursday. So you'll have time to listen and enter. We're over 608 entries.
Ooh.
Yeah, quite a few. So
sweet.
Chances are getting slimmer, but I guess 1 in 608 is better than you ever had walking into the store pre-ordering that shit online.
So young, so angry.
Because realistically, you had a 0 chance in 1 million to get one of those freaking things.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
With that said, you can follow us online at Geekoholics everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. It's Geekoholics everywhere, so really easy to find. You can hit me up on Twitter at Rick F, no K, RICF.
And you can hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Dane Cody, DAYNECODY. So if you have a chance, leave us a review on iTunes. That helps us get discovered. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like and share some videos. Or, ninja that shit on your friend's phone or iPod or something. That's the
best way.
Yeah.
Sneak it on there. And they're like, who the hell are these two cool dudes on my iPhone or Android device? How did they get in my ears?
Really, they're probably like, who the fuck is this guy in my ear hole? God damn it. What did you do? Hey, that's kind of cool.
Are they talking about video games?
Video games.
With that, I say we're done.
Yeah.
We're out.
Peace.